This is going to be a longer video regarding spiritual energy, soul ties, abstinence, you can call it celibacy, and strengthening your inner being, generally speaking. So the first and foremost thing I would say that people need to understand about spiritual energy is that most of your energy will come from within you. You have a built-in battery. A lot of people don't realize this, but you have a battery and you have the capability of absorbing energy around you as well. But your internal energy will recharge at a specific rate according to how strong you are in character and in discipline and in your ability to see the unseen. People can develop a skill in which they can drain the energy out of people at a faster rate than other people typically can. Those would be people like narcissists or people that practice the dark arts. They will have the capability of draining energy out of people and doing it in a rather quick way. But I would rather discuss your ability to maintain your own energy supply and your battery, your internal spiritual battery, whatever you want to call it, and to be able to essentially increase your rate of recharging. Now, me personally, I had to deal with people in my life for a long period of time who looked at me like I was their source of energy, and so I had to learn the hard way over a long period of time how to regain my footing in the spiritual realm and recharge myself. And some of the ways that I did that was specific foods. I wouldn't call them comfort foods. There are foods that protected me from the pain, the physical pain that would manifest from the spiritual drain. The specific practices like walking in a calming environment, walking my dog, meditating, stretching, eating wild foods, grounding, staring at a lake, things like that, stuff that creates peace in your life. One of the strongest methods in gaining spiritual energy and spiritual strength, increasing the size of your battery, is maintaining celibacy for a long period of time. What happens is that every time that you mate with someone, you create a soul tie. That soul tie is strong until you start mating with more and more and more people, and you only have so much spiritual energy, so you kind of split that soul tie up in between each person, and the tie becomes weaker and weaker and weaker, and multiple things happen, which I'm going to explain in that situation. What happens the more and more soul ties you create, when you weaken your soul tie with someone else, it also makes it so you can't pair bond very well with someone. It becomes very difficult to be able to bond with someone in a way to where you have that connection that holds a relationship together. So you might lack the spiritual energy, the spiritual capabilities after sleeping with so many people to be able to find that person that you love, that you care about, that you want to be with, and to be able to actually have a deeper connection with them. When you trying to say this in a without being blunt about it, but when you make love, yeah, that's a good way to put it. When you make love, you might not be able to bond the same way, and that can be a permanent thing over the course of the rest of your life if you slept with too many people, or it can be something that takes years for your soul ties to break with other people for you to have a strong enough soul tie to bond with the person that you want to be with. And that's kind of it's a difficult realization for people who have slept around quite a bit, to find out that they might not be able to pair bond. You end up sleeping around with a whole bunch of people and realize you can't pair bond with the person that you find later on, because of previous experiences. So it kind of becomes like a life-changing mistake at that point. You find the person that you love, your other half, and you just can't bond with them. It's a really sad situation. So I've personally been celibate for about 15 years, and I've got an extra large battery. and my spiritual energy, like I can't drain my battery faster than I can absorb energy from myself and my surroundings. And so some people will drain the energy out of other people. People call those energy vampires. Some of them will work with other people. Some people have an overabundance of energy, and it makes it so they're jittery, they have a hard time sleeping, all kinds of things. And so there can be like what you would call like a mutual agreement between two people, where one person will purposely absorb their energy, drain the energy out of the person that has an abundance of it, and that helps regulate them, while the other person is able to absorb energy, and it kind of gives them a more vibrant look. It gives them, you know, more youth, whatever you want to call it, more energy. And my main point about that is that it can go either way. You know, people can take energy from you whether you want that done or not. So you have to be careful who you're around and what they're about. Some people are all about taking energy from other people and not giving it in return. There's rare cases in which two people will meet and they'll have such an intimate spiritual connection right off the bat that they'll kind of know they're for each other. And one of the ways you'll know that this is the case is that when you two actually meet in person and you start having a conversation or start playing around together, that both of you will leave the situation like more energetic than you were originally when you had first met. And that's a good sign when both of you walk away and you feel more vibrant, more energetic, more youthful, that you're in a relationship with someone else that is essentially meant for you on a spiritual level. And that's something that you want to know about and take in consideration before you start getting into relationships, so you know, you can see that and you can look out for it, because those are special bonds. That's, I would say, one of the most important things about the spiritual ties and spiritual energy is knowing when you find the right person. You have to understand the symptoms and what happens when that situation occurs, and vice versa. You also want to know when you're around someone who wants to drain you of your energy and not give you any in return. That's very important too, because there are people out there who are very good at that, and they can drain your energy and leave you in essentially a harmed state where it can cause you physical pain, physical suffering. And here's a good example. So I've had like mass witchcraft attacks before, where a group of people have tried to, they'll take turns and they'll try to attack me in tandem, one then the next and the next and the next, and they'll try to do it as rapid as possible. And they did it on 2 separate occasions, and shortly afterwards a tooth broke of mine. And you know, they say the gnashing of teeth, you know, witches break their teeth and stuff like that. It's like, I'm not a witch or a warlock or whatever you want to call me. I'm not that, obviously, because I don't cast spells and I don't practice the dark arts. I myself don't. But yeah, you know, like the most they got out of it was a broken tooth, but it happened twice in a row after the same occurrence. And you could see that what they were doing was word curses. That's what they were trying to do. They were using their words to essentially curse me. And so that is witchcraft, right? That is witchcraft. And I don't know why they were attacking me, but I got them out of my life at this point. As far as those people go, I don't allow them back in because of what they've done to me in the past. And they also try to say that they're Christian and they believe in God, and it's like, okay, well, you know, Satanists call themselves Christians as well, so, you know, which one are you? Anyways, that's kind of an example of what you experience when it comes to spiritual energy. And you know, like, there's narcissists that are also basically energy leeches. They drain the energy out of people. There's people that they call diamond supply that have essentially what you would call like a pure form of energy, a very, very strong form of energy. And that's what narcissists will look for. They'll look for someone with an extremely strong source of energy, and they'll just hold on to them. They'll latch on to them as tight as they can and not let go. And that's because they require the energy in order for them to survive and exist. If they don't have that energy, then they don't have a capability of really going on. They essentially fall apart. They'll start growing older much quicker. They won't be able to, you know, stay awake and up as much, you know. And so, like, as far as I go, with me, my spiritual energy comes from within, and I've meditated for years. I've maintained celibacy for years, so I've got this immense battery with an immense amount of spiritual strength, and all that energy typically comes from within, and it comes from my mindset and all that I've gone through, my past experiences, and also my belief structure. And what I've recognized with me is that I say it this way: I'm like a badger, in which, you know, a snake can bite me, and the poison will run through the course run through my veins, and I'll just roll over for a few days, have to rest, have to take a nap, and then I'm right as rain after that. One of the things that's interesting about me is that I don't necessarily need to sleep much. I don't have to eat much. I can exercise a whole bunch, and it doesn't break me down as quickly as other people. I can keep going and keep going and keep going, and I can go past the limit of what most other people can. And I take into account that the majority of the reason that is because of my spiritual energy and my capabilities in the spiritual realm. Anyways, I hope this video helps. Enjoy the day.